Well, looks like Mikel Arteta has failed to convince Thomas Partey to stay at Arsenal. He has gone ahead to agree personal terms with a certain team that plays in the Saudi Pro League. Yesterday, they never told us the team, but I've gone ahead to get to know that team, and I'm going to let you know that it's a very huge team down in Saudi Arabia, and I think they're the champions. Then he has also been dropped from the list of players that have gone ahead to travel to America. Remember, the Arsenal team that is going to take part in the preseason has traveled or fly to America today, and I'm going to show you the photos on how they really looked when they're really flying to America. It was really a nice feeling. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Julian Timber, the three latest signings of Arsenal, were part of the journey. So smash the like button close to 400 times, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's always a very good day, especially when it's a Sunday. Christians, those who believe in going to church and gathering, are from church. Though in my country, there are those that are still in church. They might even go through the night and really pray to God. So thank you. But for us who pray at home, we believe God is omniscient, not so? So we are going to bring you the entire list of players of Arsenal that's going to hate to travel to the US, and those are going to hate to miss out onto the trip. But we are going to focus so much onto Thomas Partey and his current situation at Arsenal. Rokani David is my name. You can as well call me RD. And remember, I want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month. So let's go, eyes. It is football. 155 coming in from Saudi Arabia. One of the credible sources coming from that side, having close to 500,000 followers on Twitter, confirmed with us that Thomas Partey has agreed personal terms with Al Hilal. It was described to me as a big money move on the way in terms of personal terms. It will now be down to the clubs to agree a fee if it was to happen. Now, I came here and told you last time that Thomas Partey is doing all this in the name of really putting pressure to the club that wanted him, that is Al Hilal, that's going to be known to us, to really add him more money. However much he said that he's not willing to go to Saudi Arabia, according to earlier reports. Even Fabrizio Romano told us that. But it looks like it was a move for Thomas Partey to get in more money from the Al Hilal, and it looks like Al Hilal wants to give him ×2 the amount of money he earns at Arsenal weekly, that is £400,000 a week. And it looks like Thomas Partey has gone ahead to agree a deal. And if at all personal terms have gone ahead to get agreed, then it's really going to be one of those hard deals for Arsenal to prevent, because it's the player that wants to go, and it's very, very dangerous and deadly to keep a player that wants to leave, to keep him at your club. And Thomas Partey, again, coming in from Oli Informa, Al Hilal has also offered £400,000 a week per week for Thomas Partey over the next 4 years. They have offered £30 million verbal bid for Arsenal. Not enough, because Arsenal want £45 million. Now, looks like this man is very tempting for an African player like Thomas Partey, and if at all it has been for players like Jordan Henderson, Ruben Neves, Serge Milakovic-Savic, then it's no crime for Thomas Partey at the age of 30 to go that side and enjoy that money. A verbal bid made to Arsenal is a £30 million bid, but Arsenal want £45 million to see to it that they get the deal of Thomas Partey over the line. And to show you that this deal is one of those that Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously put into consideration, and Thomas Partey has insisted that he wants to leave the club of Arsenal. Guess what Arsenal have gone to do? Arsenal have left the following players behind. Pepe, Albert Cedric Lokonga, Cedric Soares are out of the Arsenal travelling squad for the preseason. Emily Smith-Rowe and Thomas Partey will join the team next week. For Pepe, now let's first talk about Thomas Partey and Emily Smith-Rowe. For Emily Smith-Rowe, he's not one of those players that Arsenal want out, but he has just gotten done with the under-21 Euros that they won by 1-0 after beating Spain. So don't expect him to be part of that until next week, because he needs to rest and obviously get himself into the mode to train with the first team. But for Thomas Partey, it's really an indicator that they really don't see him as part of the squad, and that's why they're gonna hate to leave him behind in London, to see that his agent and the entourage of Arsenal negotiate the deal with Al Hilal, and he's going to join the Saudi Arabia side. You remember last summer when they're traveling to America, Thomas Partey had cases and issues that even stopped him from traveling with Arsenal to Nuremberg, but they traveled with him to the US. That is it. So if there is no situation right now that could hinder him to travel to US, why would Arsenal not take him, yet he's not even injured? That is it. So according to our sources, it looks like Thomas Partey is staying because of this move. Mikel Arteta sat him down. Looks like he tried to convince him to stay at the club of Arsenal. Thomas Partey said, no, I'm leaving. And obviously, if at all you are at the age of 30, you'll know that it's very hard for a team like Arsenal to get you a contract of 3 years. And Thomas Partey is getting a contract of 4 years that will see him earn close to £20 million a year. So for 4 years, he's going to be earning close to £100 million. So that is really one of those things that you would pay attention to detail to, and know that it's obviously hard for Mikel Arteta to keep the player. Mikel Arteta wanted Thomas Partey to stay at Arsenal 100%, but Partey has gone ahead to show them that he's not interested. The coming in of Declan Rice obviously just creates a lot of competition to the central defensive midfield position, and with how Thomas Partey imploded towards the final end of the season, that shows that Arsenal are not interested and not really convinced that he can really take them to the victory they deserve to be getting into their career. Being injury prone is another one why Arsenal also want to cash in, and Mikel Arteta doesn't want to keep a player at Arsenal who doesn't want to be at the club. So that puts Arsenal back in the likes of the Caicedo deals, Lavia and Audio Tchouameni. Maybe even Zubimendi. Arsenal can go in for him to see to it that they get in a replacement for Thomas Partey. And how is Arsenal going to attack this transfer window after getting in 3 players that cost them £210 million? Because their first plan was not to lose Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey and add on Declan Rice and maybe Kai Havertz. That is it. So they're now going to lose 2, and they've only brought in 2, meaning that they're having a deficit of 2 midfielders left to add up to the team of Arsenal. We don't know how Mikel Arteta is going to address this situation, because it's tricky, as things are not going to plan. Because when they left, he knew that maybe Thomas Partey would be one of those people that are going to stay in for the team of Arsenal. But looks like Thomas Partey wants out. And now let's talk about Nicola Pepe, Cedric Soares, and Cedric Lokonga. Now, for Nicola Pepe, Arsenal want to cash in for him, and if at all cash is not gotten, they are willing to terminate Nicola Pepe's contract and let him go. He was a player they signed for £73 million, and sometimes have to really admit a loss, like they did for Mesut Ozil and Aubameyang, that we are really getting a loss. But the progress we're going to get after you guys leaving will be so much proactive than it has always been. For Albert Cedric Lokonga, I think he's also out of the plans of Mikel Arteta, and they are willing to sell him off, because one will say the reason that's why they've gone ahead to leave him behind, that he's injured. That's a total lie, because last season Arsenal took close to 3 injured players with them on the tour in America. Tomiyasu was injured, he was taken to America. Emily Smith-Rowe was injured, he was taken to America. Fabio Vieira, the newly signed player, last summer he was flown to America, yet he was really injured. So that is not a reason to give that a player is injured, that's why we're going to have to leave him. They've left him behind because they feel he is not part of the Arsenal side. Now, Cedric Soares is another one. Now, Cedric Soares is another one that Arsenal want to cash in for, and they feel like it's time that maybe Fulham got them some good amount of money, like £5 or £6 million out of this, because the next phase of Arsenal, it's all about selling players. They've gone ahead to bring in 3, and for them to spend any other money they need to get what we call money from sales. Like Balogun, if they can get like 40 million pounds, Thomas Partey 45, that is 95. They sell, you add on the sales of Xhaka, 21 million pounds, that is close to 100 million pounds. Add on Pablo Mari, so that means if at all those sales coming through, they can raise some more 150 million pounds and see what their main aim is gonna be. That is it coming in from Thomas Partey, and how Mikel Arteta is gonna hate to fail to convince him to stay at Arsenal, and Thomas Partey looks like he's pushing to leave the club of Arsenal. Now, this is how the club of Arsenal stood out onto what we call the plane as they found themselves out from London to the US. And after that, we bring you the list of players that have gone ahead to make the list of the Arsenal onto the Arsenal what? It's the Arsenal what? It's the Arsenal team that has gone ahead to fly to America, US. Now, the website of Arsenal have gone ahead to put up some beautiful article that I've gone ahead to find interesting to read to you, the viewers of Rokani Media Football. And it started off like Arsenal's men's team squad, together with colleagues from across the club, departed London Stansted Airport on Sunday afternoon, heading across the Atlantic on an Emirates 777 aircraft, or 777 aircraft. Following two friendlies against Watford and FC Nuremberg, our first match in the United States will be at Woody Field, Washington DC on Wednesday, July 19th, against an MLS side team in front of a sellout crowd. The MLS All-Stars will be led by the DC United coach, that is Wayne Rooney, formerly a United player and is now a United legend, and is now a coach who was at Derby County and obviously threw in the towel. Then they continued and said, we then travel to New Jersey, where we face Manchester United in the MetLife Stadium on Saturday, July 22nd, making the first time the two clubs have played each other on American soil. It promises to be a popular fixture after Arsenal's 3-2 win against Man United in January was watched by an average audience of 1.9 million viewers across NBC Sport, that is in America, Peacock, and NBC Sports digital platforms, a US record for a Premier League fixture. So it shows you that Arsenal Man United is one of those that is hugely going to be watched all over the world, but in America particularly, over 2 million people watched this fixture that saw Arsenal beat United 3-2 at Emirates. The third and final leg of Arsenal's US Tour 2023 forms part of the Soccer Championship Tour series and takes Arsenal to Los Angeles, where they will play against Barcelona on Wednesday, July 26th at the Sophie Stadium, home of the LA Rams. Tickets for our matches in New Jersey and Los Angeles are still available and can be purchased by clicking the links for the matches above. So after that, they gave us the list of those players that have gone ahead to travel to the US, and this is the list, and I bring it to you all in its completion. Now, Aaron Ramsdale, William Saliba, Kieran Tierney, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Julian Timber, Alex Nunaroson, Edin Nketiah, Jakub Kivio, Rob Holding, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Leandro Trossard, Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, Mohamed El Nini, Florin Balogun, Marquinhos, Kai Havertz, Karl Hein, Austin Trusty, Alex Zinchenko, Declan Rice, Mario Kroos, Dobre. That is the squad that's going to hit to travel with Mikel Arteta to America to see to it that they do the best that they can to get. Now, tell me your thoughts about whether Mikel Arteta is going to hate to fail to convince Thomas Partey to stay or not. Why do you think Emile Smith-Rowe is out? Pepe, Cedric Soares, and who else? And Albert Lokonga. So, your thoughts are welcome in the comment section below. Sign out for now. See you later. Hope the Lord God guides you well in all your endeavors, and the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. See you in our next video.